All right, welcome to day 13 of Wheelie-American workouts, and get the fine print out of the way. We disclaim all warranties of any kind, including the warranty of fitness for a particular purpose and the implied warranty of merchantability. We make as a condition of you watching and using these videos, indemnifying us for any losses or injuries you might have, and holding us harmless for those same damages or injuries. And finally, please make your workout plans part of your overall plan with your medical team. All right, we're back at the gym today, and we're going to do, it's not really a complicated workout, it's just got a lot of moving parts. So speaking of moving parts, let's cross our chest, arms on our chest, and let's rotate a little bit here. Just rotate as much as you can, right? There's a lot of us that don't have a lot of force, so you may have your rotation just be real tight, but whatever you can do, and then go backwards. All right, now take your hand and stick your thumb inside your hand and bury it. And just very slowly raise your hand up, and we're just controlling, and we're going all the way around, and I'm going to run into the back of my wheelchair, but we'll just come back, and shouldn't be a lot of leaning or anything. Try to keep your body straight, and the only thing that's moving is your shoulder. And it's not a fast motion. All right, same thing. Bury your thumb in your hands. And over. Yeah, well, I kind of got out of form on there. Okay, now let's take and clench your fists, and then have your arms by your side and shrug a few times. And then rotate, keeping your hands clenched. When you're tipping back, look up at the ceiling or the sky, wherever you're doing this. All right. So what do we have on tap today? Well, if you've done this before, you know what an AMRAP is, as many repetitions as possible. And we're doing 8 of those. And each one is 2 minutes long. So we'll say in sync, even though there's 8 of them and it sounds complicated, you can at least hear my voice cues. And each one of them starts off with a 20-meter sprint. For those of you who aren't facile in the metric system, that's about 66 feet. So it'd be like 33 feet out, 33 feet back. Again, a basketball court is 50 feet wide. It's 94 feet long. So, you could traverse the whole basketball court like I am, I'm going to actually do 100 feet sprint because I'm going to do 50 both ways. You could go to the midway point going the other way on a basketball court, and which is like 47 feet, so you end up with 94. Tennis court from the back to the net is 39 feet, so that would be perfect for this. If you remember the trick of marking by putting a piece of tape up on both sides of your wheels and roll so that the tape comes up at the same time on both sides. Most wheelchairs will cover about 6 feet in that distance, so your 33 feet would be 6 reps up, rotations of your wheelchair wheels, and you could start with a crack in the sidewalk or the pavement, or even with a sign or a tree, and then measure your 6 rotations back or forward, whatever, and then leave a stick there, put a rock, put if you're in a dangerous neighborhood, just nudge the dead body back to that spot. Do it based upon a tree, whatever works for measuring it out. Again, be out there. But every one of these AMRAPs, and so we're going to repeat that within the 2 minutes, and each of the 2 minute start off with that 20-minute sprint, right? And so the first of the 8 is 16 of this motion, which is just your wheelchair push-up, and then reach for the ground, and then reach for the sky, and then wheelchair push-up. That was starting the second one, right? So reach for the ground, reach for the sky. You're going to do that 16 times, then do your sprint again 16 times till 2 minutes is up. The second AMRAP, again, starts with the sprint, and it's just going to be 6 plain old wheelchair push-ups. 16 plain old wheelchair push-ups, then the sprint, 16 wheelchair push-ups, then the sprint, however many you can safely do in the 2 minutes. The third AMRAP, we roll right into each one of these without a rest. Starts with a lateral bend where you reach overhead into the side, and reach overhead into the side, reach overhead in the side, and it'll be 8 on each side, total of 16. If you wanted to make it a little tougher, this is where you could put the 500 milliliter bottle of water, which is about a pound, or 700 milliliter bottle of water, which is pound and a half. Those of you who've been here before have seen my 6-pound water bottle, basically a half gallon that I use to make sure I get enough water in the day. So again, sprint, 16 of those lateral side bends. And if you're worried about remembering it, right, we're all going to start the same 2-minute AMRAP together, and then once we're in that, just keep repeating until we get to the next AMRAP, right? Next one is going to be trunk rotations. And basically reach back on that side with your arm out, reach back with that. Again, this is one, and I'm going to do this one with my 6-pound water bottle and just pass it. And we're going to do 16 of those, which again is 8 aside. Keep repeating that cycle over and over and over again until our 2 minutes is up, and then we roll into the next one, which is another sprint. And there we're going to then do arm circles, 16 rotations. Do our sprint, 16. Just keep repeating. You may start ahead of me or after, so just, I'll announce it when we're starting the sprint, what the next motion of 16. Basically, you got to just remember two numbers. It's the, once you've marked out your sprint, whatever that is. Two numbers are 2 minutes for the AMRAP and 16. Everything we're doing is 16. And then the next AMRAP will start off with a sprint, as they all do. And then we're going to do a tricep extension overhead, where you start with your hand behind your neck as far back, and then you raise up and lock out the arm. I'm going to actually do it with my my 6-pound water bottle and up, and we're going to do 8 aside, right? 16. So 8 on the left, 8 on the right. Keep repeating that for the 2 minutes with the sprint, and then the 16, sprint the 16. And then finally, second to last, we're going to do curls, and just basically up to the arms, and or up to your shoulder. And I'm going to do that weighted with my 6 pounds. But same thing. You don't have to have equipment to do this. You just enhance it if you can or want to. Do the 8 on each side for 16 sprint, 8 on each side for 16 sprint. And then finally, the 8 of the AMRAP, 2-minute AMRAPs, is our chest press. And I've talked about this before. That's something that ideally is done on a bench. You get transfer off. This is an AMRAP. It'd take me the 2 minutes just to transfer off and get my body centered so I could do it. So another way is if you have resistance bands or those resistance, whatever they call the sheets that the therapists give us in rehab. If you have those, you can put them behind your back and press out. You can just pantomime it, right? Just push out, or you can put a weight. And we're going to do 16 of those, and then the sprint, and 16 sprint. So again, during the sprint part, at the beginning, I'll tell you what the motion is. So you just need to remember what chest presses are versus curls versus the tricep extension versus the arm circles, the trunk rotations, the lateral side bends, and the 2 different types of wheelchair push-ups that we're doing. Actually, it's the same wheelchair push-up, just one of them has a little extra motion added to it. All right, so get your timer ready, or be ready to do it with me. And remember, the first round here, you're going to do after, since you guys might get back from the sprint sooner than me, wheelchair push-up, reach for the ground, reach for the sky, wheelchair push-up, reach for the ground, reach for the sky 16 times, and then sprint again, okay? So my timer gives me a 10-minute head start, or countdown, so it just started. All right, we're off to the races. All right. Wheelchair push-up. Reach for the ground. Reach for the sky. And 1 minute in, halfway there. Not a good video because I'm kind of sloppy on some of those, but again, you guys know I like to do the sprints backwards just because it opens me up, and then I'm doing forward so I don't run into the camera. So 6 seconds, 5. So sprint again, wheelchair push-up straight, 16 of them. All right, just plain old wheelchair push-ups. It's a minute in, we're halfway done. All right, next one starts with the sprint, and then you're doing the lateral side bends. 8 to a side for our 16. Don't reach to the point where you fall over, but reach far enough that you engage whatever muscles you can. We're halfway done. All right, sprint again. Finally loosened up to where I can touch the floor. Okay, this is going to be the trunk rotations, where you reach back each side, 8 on a side. Got a little sweat dripping off my forehead and nose. All right. Halfway done, get a minute in. All right. For 10 seconds left. Keep it going, even though I'm not going to make all 16. Just do it. All right, this time it'll be our arms circling backwards 16 times after the sprint. All right. Minute in. All right. Get back to my starting point. All right. And then the next one is the tricep extensions, where you start with your hand behind your head and lift it 8 on each side. Sure you remember to breathe. Concentrating on so many things, you might forget to breathe. Okay, and now the next one is going to be the curls, 8 on each side after the sprint. This workout is designed to get your heart rate going. We just move from activity to activity. Even just moving your arms without a weight will cause your heart, the muscle receptors to trigger the heart saying, hey, there's something going on here. You need to make sure blood is pumping. When you can choose sides to do first, I like to go with the weak side first just to make sure it gets all the reps in. Yeah, we're halfway done. Almost done with round 7. Oh, curls, not extensions. I'm sorry. And the last one is the chest press after our sprint. Just keep pushing hard on the sprints and on the chest press. That's the idea. We're not going to increase your bench press strength, but we're just working on muscles and cardio, endurance. Should have brought my second one. I know. I'll just move it from side to side. We're on the halfway done of the last round. Don't stop now. Keep pushing yourself. I'm going to start even though I can't finish. You just go all the way to the end. All right. So, those of you who've been with me before know that I always say AMRAPs are a good one to keep track of the numbers and what you did, and then in a month or so come back and try it again just to see where you've improved in all this. I don't really know how to keep track of all the different reps in this, and whatever way you can come up with, God love you. Just do whatever it takes. If you want to do that, I personally am not going to keep track of this. I will come back just because I think it's a good workout to kind of get everything going, upper body, little cardio action, so all that. Now, just so you know, I did 2 workouts in a row that had some sort of wheeling around component, whether outside or in a long hallway in your apartment building or whatever. The next 2 workouts definitely have no component, no wheeling component at all. It'll all be in place. So if you couldn't do this one because there just wasn't a place, go back to one of the couple earlier ones and join us for the next 2, because those will be both ones you can do in place in your apartment. And if you're doing this during hurricane or bomb cyclone season and you come across these workouts in the rotation, just put them off until when you can to go out and do something nice. So until the next time. Where's the end button? There.